Hi, welcome to our MRC podcast. This is an initiative taken by the Jaipuria Institute of Management Lucknow campus. And for our podcast today, we have renowned journalist Mr. Virendra Rawat, who is associated currently with Business Standard and is a veteran journalist in financial matters. And sir, very glad to have you with us today.
Thank you,
So,
Mr.
sir, as someone at the top of your profession, so a big part of what we teach our students at Jaipuria is leadership. A big part of what they learn, why they wish to be, why they wish to study business, is because they see themselves as future leaders. So, my first question to you would be that in your experience as having risen to the top of your profession, what do you feel is the most important lesson in terms of leadership?
I think there would be several layers to leadership because that depends upon the individual personality, the kind of background the person has, the kind of career growth roadmap the person has adopted for him or herself. But I think most important is self-motivation, because if a person is self-motivated, that would enable the person to face the challenges in life, in career, in corporate life, in family life, in having the social milieu, taking all the aspects or all the nuances in his or her stride. So I think that would be the most critical element of a leadership quality, because that would also, if somebody is self-motivated, the person does not look to others for motivation or for mentorship. Added mentorship is there, that would be an added bonus. If you get a mentorship, you are fortunate enough to get somebody to mentor you, to handhold you through the thick and thin of your life and your career progression. But if somebody is self-motivated, I think that would play a very major role in shaping up the personality and contributing to the success of the person.
Okay. Now, what happens is, to a lot of people, they want to be leaders. Young students wish to be leaders, but that will obviously only happen after putting in years of hard work. So, for someone who is starting their career, who has to go through the ranks, this journey to reach leadership is a hard one. So, what would you say to someone who's at the very start of their career, other than motivation, other than the emphasis on organic motivation? What would you recall from yourself 20-30 years ago when you started your career? That
I think in the starting stages, I think a person should be a team member, working as a team, a part of the team, because that would be very critical. Because if you are starting young, if you are at the initial stages of your career or in a corporate life, that would be very critical, because you will have to work with several other people, and leaving your individual egos or your ambitions behind and feeling a part of the whole, because then only you can learn from the other people. You get the benefit of the peer group also. So you can, there is a rich knowledge sharing, the pool of knowledge sharing that is available to all. So that, I think, in the initial stage, I think feeling a part of a team, to be a team worker, that would be very critical, because that would also allow you to learn from others without having any inhibitions, without having any individual egos coming in, impeding your learning from others. It could be your seniors, it could be your co-workers, it could be the other people not in the ranks, not in the vertical that you're working from, even from people doing menial job. There could be some traits in them. So for instance, they could be hardworking, going beyond the call of duty to perform and to learn. Because you must have seen there are several people who are stuck in menial jobs because of the family background or the economic hardships. But you must have seen that they upgrade their educational qualification by working in the day and then studying in the night and appearing for the examination and excelling, and then switching over to better jobs. So there could be several traits that you can absorb from these people also. So being a team worker, I think in the initial stages, that would be very critical.
another question which we thought we should ask you is, see, as a media person high up in one's career, a big part of one's job is taking tough decisions under strict time limits, right? Because you have so many sources of information coming to you. You have to sift out the useful from the clutter. So how do you do that? What skill do you think, even in business, students have to decipher the market trends from conflicting sources of information. So what is your personal policy of sifting the useful from the clutter? How do you emphasize that which is most necessary out of all that is there?
That is a tough question, I guess, because that would entirely depend upon the specific circumstances. But if you talk in general terms, I think that would come because that stage would come only after a certain point in time in a career. So slowly and gradually, as you move up the ladder, the corporate ladder, these are the traits or these are the learnings that you will receive, that you will embed, that will permeate in your personality as a professional. So that would come in a later stage. But I think that over a period of time, it's by experience, a person in his or her field gets necessary or the vital experience to create a priority of sorts. If you have certain jobs to do in a certain span of time, so you can set up a priority that these are the things that has to be dealt in priority, and other thing could be brushed on the carpet for the time being, and then they can come as you move along in the course. So I think that is something that you have to gain in the number of years that you put in a company or in a corporate field, or if somebody is a entrepreneur, so that would come. I think it's incidental in your career progression, so that you learn along as you move.
So it's more of a skill that you gain along with the rise in profession. It is not something that you will learn from a manual or from a book on information as such.
Yeah, because that is the reason that people in the leadership position, they are only chosen or they are selected only depending upon the amount of years that they have put in their career. Mostly, not every time, but mostly, because the general template is that if somebody has 10 years of experience, then the person is better suited than a person with 5 years of experience, say. But that is not the template for all the situations, but mostly, because it is taken for granted that if a person has a 10-year experience, then the person is better suited to take such tough decisions and to create a priority sort of list. So,
okay, a similar, slightly related question. So we are living in an age where we just discussed there's this explosion of information, and a part of the skill that one has to learn in any profession, but even more so in media, is how to find the information that is relevant. Related to this is also the question of stress, because along with information comes with a lot of trigger for different points of view, different realities, so to speak, different perspectives, if you will. So how should our students, what advice would you have for them in dealing with this barrage of stress in this hugely information ridden market? And
that's the harsh reality of today's world, actually. Information overload. You get information from so many mediums, from your smartphone, from TV, from internet, from your peer group. So that's it's a very, as I said, it's a harsh reality, and we have to live with it. So we have to deal with it, how we face that, how we overcome that. So I think that one needs to be well read. The students need to cultivate a habit of reading newspapers, the physical papers especially, because unless and until you read the physical form of magazine or newspaper, you don't get the depth of the thing, because information that you get over electronic devices, be it internet, laptop, your smartphone, that can give you information, but the knowledge or the wisdom will come only from the physical medium, that the newspaper. Because newspaper, and make it a habit that it should not be one off. It should be a routine that you read the newspaper, you watch some debates, some news programs on TV also, some debate program, because that will not only brush up your language, also you get your vocabulary also gets richer, you get a better sense of the perspective, the different perspective going around. So then you can form your own idea of things about the happenings around, and what constitutes the agenda of the day, what's fake news. You can really differentiate between what is fake, what is what is being treated in superlative terms by the news channels or the YouTubers or the citizen journalists. There is a whole lot of citizen journalists roaming around in social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, and what have you. So if you are well read, you are well prepared, your perspective is broad, then it would certainly help you to sift the real thing from the chaff. So that would keep you in the right frame of mind, the right track also. Then you can handle such stress, the phenomenon of fake news, because the fake news phenomenon also feeds into stress sometimes. There could be instances. So I think if somebody is well read, well prepared, and you have a peer group also that has the same kind of perspective towards, or the attitude or the aptitude towards life, career, and the emotional quotient, that is to say. So I think that would keep you in good stead.
So there are no shortcuts in the real world, basically.
No, I don't think
you
so.
have to read the real newspaper that comes
that
out
is
in
very
print.
good. That is very good.
And it is a fact of the reality today that there is an information overload, that it does lead to stress, but then you have to take the bull by its horns and deal with it with the fact of the reality, which you will find in the...
I'll give you a small example. Like there are so much of information available on internet. You can search the Google, but the information that is available on the e-paper or the digital medium of a physical newspaper, you will tend to treat it with more credibility rather than a purely digital platform, because that's how it has developed also, because a physical newspaper has a certain legacy, tradition attached to it. So that plays a very critical role in creating the credibility, and we also treat in the same manner. So that's what I'm saying, ki unless and until we keep ourselves abreast with the physical newspaper or the physical magazine, somewhere down the line something would be missing. The knowledge, some quotient or some nuances of news or the information or the wisdom would be missing. So that is very important, I think.
So on similar lines, since we spoke of these shortcuts that have emerged due to information technology, what do you feel about OpenAI, about generative AI? But OpenAI is a company, but about generative AI in general. Do you think that ChatGPT can replace writing jobs such as journalism?
I think that the jury is still out, because artificial intelligence technology that is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's permeated every domain, every plausible landscape or domain that we can think about. So technology, the technology of AI, there are no options to it. It has to be adopted. It is being adopted. But the critical point is how to create a balance. I always say that we have to choose between artificial intelligence and natural stupidity. So somewhere down the line we have to find the middle path. But I don't think for the routine things, that if you are searching, if you want to write a letter, if you want to write a story where you have a very stereotypical situation, ChatGPT or these kind of language models can help. But I think for the creative part, something that is really creative, something which is innovative, I don't think that it would come to such a pass that artificial intelligence or ChatGPT, or there are several other platforms like that, would be able to alternate or to play to completely replace that. I don't think that it would come to such a pass. But of course, but yes, it will certainly replace the routine jobs or the routine procedures or the processes. But I don't think the real creative part could ever be replaced by such technological developments, I guess.
Now, as a media person, as a journalist, and in particular as a financial journalist, you must have a deeper knowledge of the socio-economic and political reality of our country better than the average person, because most of us, we in other professions, we deal with the people on a transactional basis. It is only the media which deals with people on a regular basis without necessarily involving an exchange of some sorts, because part of your job is to gauge the overall mood in the public, right? So, what would you feel having traveled, I assume, in the hinterlands of this country? What do you think is the core essence of our socio-cultural framework, in your opinion? And even in the economic sense, what is it about the Indian workforce that is different from, you would say, other workforces in other parts of the world?
I think for most part, Indians are hardworking. Um Maybe it is open to debate that maybe they are not too entrepreneurial in that sense.
As yet,
Yeah, compared to some other communities, to some other countries, but they are hardworking lot. I think that they have a largely laid back attitude. Their attitude or the aptitude towards life is more at ease with the universe, treating themselves as a microcosm of the universe, a part of the whole, that is. So that kind of feeds into your work life or your corporate philosophy also. So slowly, but as with globalization, that is fast changing, and the business schools are also aligning with the international or the global template. So slowly and gradually that will change. But for most part, I think that Indians need to be more entrepreneurial. So that would be because we have a large population and the aspirational youth. So because slowly and gradually, as you mentioned about artificial intelligence, these kind of technological development, so that will certainly replace some jobs. So what the need is to create more entrepreneurs, more employment creators rather than employment seekers. So that would also contribute towards the socio-economic development of our country, I think.
So we are hardworking, but we have more to work on our entrepreneurial spirit.
I think, yeah.
Exactly. Right. Because we are rising really fast.
Of course. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is slowly and gradually we are learning the trade thick and fast. But I think because the sheer the quantum of population that we have, it has to be, we have to leapfrog. It cannot be a jogging.
Right.
We have to leapfrog. Yeah.
Okay. I think that will be all, sir, for now. Thank you so much for attending this podcast with us.
It was nice talking to you, Mrinal.
I hope our students will really enjoy.
I really want to express my gratitude to Jaipuria and to you, Mrinal, for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts. I think that I measured up to your expectation and to your students also. Thank you.
Thank you.